Outseta is doing a lot right. An interactive demo, legit social proof, and a product that replaces 5 tools in one. But their homepage, it was burying their messaging wedge. We talked about why membership operating system doesn't actually mean anything, how payments are their real hook, and why their best converting blog posts could probably be their homepage. Your messaging's trying to say it all at once. This one's for you. Let's get into it.
My name is Geoff Roberts. I'm one of the co-founders of Outseta. We're a 8-year-old bootstrap SaaS company that is generally in the membership software space, but our product brings together sort of all of the features you typically need to run a SaaS or membership type business. So it's payments, authentication, CRM, email, and help desk tools in a single platform.
I love it. Thanks so much for joining me on this clarity, Geoff. So for people who are not necessarily familiar, what types of businesses tend to use that data?
So our product is aimed at small companies, generally anywhere from a startup to, on the upper end, a business doing $5 or $10 million a year, but kind of that lower end of the market. And a lot of people will describe it as like HubSpot light. So it's kind of similar to HubSpot in that it gives you CRM and email and help desk tools, but it's also more payments and authentication focused. And our customers are building SaaS products or content-driven membership sites is the other one where they're charging for access to content.
I love it. Let's go ahead and dive right in because I know there's a lot within your homepage. So the first thing so tell me a little bit more about kind of what was your headspace when you were kind of doing the last version or when you or somebody on your team was doing the last version of the homepage?
Yeah, it's always been tough for us to describe exactly what Outseta is because we are sort of this platform solution. Everyone understands payments and authentication and CRM and email and help desk tools. But if you bring all those together, what do you call it? So we've always struggled with that. We, have had the conversation about, do we need to like invent some category to describe what it is that we do? I think unequivocally the answer is no. And trying to find a category that's well understood, membership software is probably the closest one that fits. A lot of our customers do need to charge membership fees of some sort, and they use that terminology. But the truth is we also sell to founders of SaaS companies who, while they're charging subscription fees or recurring fees, they don't use membership-based terminology. So we have a customer base that's very split between these use cases. And I think our current language doesn't speak to both audiences particularly well.
Yeah. I find it really interesting that you said, like, we're not sure if we should be a category of one or not. And then you say, openly said, hey, don't become a category of one. But then your H1 pretty much suggests that. Because is there really a category for membership operating system? This feels like something that a company like Stripe would say.
Yep. No, I think that's very true. Membership software is definitely a category. I think we slapped operating system on the end because we're trying to convey that we offer something more than just kind of paywalling your content. And there is this operational nature to the tools that we offer, meaning we give you a CRM to manage your customers. We give you email tools to send your emails. We give you a help desk to provide customer service. But I'm the first one to tell you, I think a membership operating system doesn't really mean anything to anyone. So
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. My question to you is, you basically have essentially all of the components for a membership service or a SaaS in a box. Are there any features within that or any specific aspects of your product that are used across all of your customers, or does everyone use every single feature? Like, what are the ones that are prioritized the most?
yeah, at the core, it is a payments and authentication product. People come to Outseta and buy us for payments and authentication. And then sort of our differentiator, to be frank, is we give you this other stuff that we know you're going to need too, which our competitors largely don't. They give you the payments and authentication, but don't wrap it in the CRM and email and help desk tools that we do.
And about how many of your customers are actually using the CRM, the help desk, and everything else?
Yeah, a huge percentage. I would say like that is our differentiator, and you really get a lot more value out of the product if you adopt all those features in full. So our customers choose us because they want a single tech stack and they want less point solutions used within the context of their company. It's probably like 75 or 80% like adopt the full thing. But it's still the purchase decision is made based off of payments and authentication, or that's the initial job to be done at least.
Would it make sense then to maybe layer your H1 to include something about payment and authentication? Because that's really kind of the wedge that your customers are looking for and how they kind of hear about it. And then maybe everything else is just kind of things that's like, oh, this is awesome. But what I was really looking for was payments and authentication.
Yes. I think that makes sense.
Another thing that kind of immediately stands out to me is I'm looking at just within your heroes section, and you have not including learn product, where I'm sure the product goes into like a product tour, learn pricing, support, company, blog, login, sign up, get your special webflow migration offer as another one, design showcase and themes, and then you have sign up for free and then add setup for is that setup for me? That's like 12 CTAs just within your H1 kind of sections.
There's a lot going on there. Agreed.
Can you explain a little bit more what kind of design showcase and themes is? And then also what get your special webflow migration offer are doing and why you have them so high up on the page?
Yes. So generally where it says design showcase and themes here, this is a little UI component that we've used historically to introduce new stuff. It changes if we, release some major new feature, something we would announce it there. This particular one demonstrates how our sign up and login forms can be customized from a design perspective. It comes largely from having a competitor that used to kind of say outside it doesn't allow you to customize the design of these forms enough. So we're pushing back on that and showing examples of what can be done. That's what that one's all about. The get your special webflow migration offer thing here. This one is actually, it shows conditionally to some people and not others. The normal website visitor would not see that. If you go to our website right now, you probably wouldn't see it. But Webflow is the technology Outset is most commonly integrated with. They had features that were competitive with our own membership software features. They sunset them and recommended that their customers migrate to Outseta. So we have kind of a special call out for people that received that communication from Webflow, giving them special pricing. But
That's really, really interesting. And maybe something that you, instead of having it be like a special call out, is there a way you can almost just integrate it even better? Maybe not necessarily even in the hero section, but like right below it.
yeah, probably.
Another thing that just kind of stands out to me is besides just kind of simplifying this number of CTAs, because the more CTAs you have on it, something I tell a lot of people, both on these videos and then with clients in general, is the more CTAs you have visible, especially above the fold, the more likely you're going to cause analysis paralysis and people are going to default to doing nothing instead of something like that. So I wonder if, well, I like the design showcase and I like the webflow migration. Is there a better place to put those? And then also maybe just streamlining something to even just sign up for free, which makes a lot of sense. And then is that set up for me? Like, where does that go right now?
Yeah, so this is interesting. This is something I actually think is quite helpful, and we've gotten really good feedback on this. I agree with you. We have too many CTAs. We should nuke some of them. What we ultimately want people to do, first of all, is sign up for a trial. Like that is the call to action. That should be, we should have more narrow paths to get there. The is Outseta for me page. We don't have a sales team. We rely completely on product-led growth. And my mindset in designing everything around our customer acquisition process has been, how would I want to be sold to? And kind of the thing that I keep coming back to is like, I just want the company to put all their cards on the table, tell me how it is, tell it to me straight, don't sugarcoat it. And that's kind of where this page came from. So if you read through this page, it is extremely straightforward and written in very plain language.
Mhm.
And it answers a few questions. What is Outseta? Who uses Outseta? What people build with Outseta? What the benefits are? Signs that this is the right fit for you, and signs that this is the not right fit for you. And then actually two more. What technologies work well with Outseta, and where can I learn more? So the idea was just like, give it to them straight, let them read this and say, hey, this is for me, or no, this is not for me, and make that determination as quickly as possible. People have responded really, really positively to this page, so positively that we moved it up here alongside the free trial call to action.
I love that page. I love how just clear and specific it is and how easy it is for someone to be able to see exactly what Outseta is and if it's right for them. My question to you is, there's nothing wrong with that page, but why don't you just integrate more of that directly into your homepage?
That's a good call. Yeah, I think we could. I think the homepage today, follows more of the typical SaaS homepage. Show a little bit of the product, get some testimonials on there. We're not doing as much explanation, I guess, on the homepage today. We're doing more credibility content and like get a little flavor of the product experience. But I think we could probably interweave the two more effectively than we have.
Yeah. I guess kind of digging into it a little bit more nicely but bluntly, what is stopping you from maybe making your homepage less of the traditional SaaS and more of the let's actually do what our customers are actually saying is working, which is that blog post?
I think it'd be a great A/B test. I'm all for how do I put this? I'm anti A/B testing small things and very into A/B testing large things. I would love to actually run that, like send 50% of the traffic to the existing homepage and 50% directly to that page and see what converts better.
Yeah. Or maybe even just I mean, it doesn't even have to be either or, because that blog post is amazing. But I do think potentially that blog post with some of the images that you have here, particularly if you scroll back down, because we were talking about this just before we started recording, where you were talking about the Sound for You brand. I have no idea that this is even like interactive until you were showing that to me. So I'm wondering if there's a way to make that just a little even more clear that this is interactive and like actually within Outseta, because that's like a killer feature within your homepage. And two, to your point, sign up could actually mean, are they signing up already for a free trial? Or are they actually just, really doing what you're intended, which is seeing what a sign up flow looks like? Like, could it be a little bit more clear?
Definitely. Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah. Can you maybe walk me through that though? Like just, why did you choose the sign up form as opposed to like, pricing or something else that Outseta does for the interactive design?
Yeah, for the interactive design, going back to the conversation about Outseta at its core is a payments and authentication tool. Really the component of the software that the most people will interact with or that people are making buying decisions on is the sign-up forms. And we sort of knew that there was, the 7-day trial. If people want to get into the product and actually play with the product, you can do something similar within the product itself. But we were trying to latch on to this idea of, okay, there's people that might not want to sign up for a trial. And we do require a credit card to sign up for a trial. So that's an additional gate too. How can we bring some of that experience onto the page? And the sign up form just felt like a good way to do that. Obviously, you're not getting a big taste of the product, but it's an important component and you can, actually interact with this. You can customize the design and you can sort of get a sense for really like the key feature that you're buying.
Yeah, I love it. And I realize this might be a technical limitation, but is there a way you can take this a step further and have it still be an interactive demo, but when they click sign up, they actually do sign up or start the first process of your trial? Because that can be a way to reduce friction to I'm actually starting a free trial and also get some of this to see, even people who are not ready to kind of see exactly what Outseta does.
100%. Yeah, we could do that. It's a good idea.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'm wondering is if you go back to that blog post.
Yep.
I like the blog post. Is that set up for me? Even that as an H1 is potentially worth testing because I suspect that would actually do really well. But what if you had this there? Then you had, the paragraph right before it, and maybe a little bit of like, what did that set as? Maybe combine those two. And then you suddenly had your interactive demo right below that.
So just
Wait.
marrying the 2 pages, the best of both.
Yeah. That, and then also adding in some of the social proof. Because the other thing I noticed, if you go back to your homepage,
Yeah.
and this is something I've now said on like 10 of these videos, is you're bearing some of your best social proofs like halfway down the page.
Yeah.
Like all of that, like for the fact that you have Justin Welch as a customer, that's like a huge name in your space. Why is that buried? And you get, yeah. And I mean, I do like that it's above the interactive demo, but like, why is that so far down?
Sure. Yeah, it's just it's a matter of real estate, I suppose. But it's true. I think we have always, because Outseta is kind of this difficult to categorize and difficult to understand thing initially, we have probably over-indexed on like the explain what it is content and haven't gotten as quickly into that credibility content. I think that's where it comes from, at least, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know.
Yeah. I would also, I maybe would even challenge even more because this is something I just see all the time now. And again, I've seen this now in multiple videos where it's the technical founder who is so in the weeds and knows everything about the product that to you it seems obvious, but you put all of the stuff inside of the homepage, try to cram everything in. And as opposed to just like letting it breathe and realize, okay, what are the key features? You've kind of mentioned already, it's authentication and payments. Those are your wedges. Why don't you make those the top thing in there? Simplify it down to those things and then explain everything else once they're already bought in. Because at that point, you're giving them exactly what they want. And then you're going to be oh, wait, Outseta does all these other things too. So I don't have to go get a CRM, a help desk, everything else.
And they'll know, quickly that they're in the right place, because we offer the 2 major features they're there for initially, at least.
Yeah. And then the killer thing is you already do most of that within the Outseta blog post if you go back to it.
Yep.
So I guess kind of my question to you is you already do a decent amount of this. I think there's definitely some things you could tweak a little bit more, but that's like nitpicky and outside of this video. But why is this blog post and your homepage so different? Kind of going back. I know that's again.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it comes back to, I felt like, I had more real estate in a more written format like this to really explain Outseta and what it is and who it's for and that kind of stuff. I know there's been some like trendy homepages that are like text heavy. We have not experimented with that whatsoever, but I think on the homepage, the thought was more, we've got to give you some sort of headline that helps you decide what this is and who it's for, and then actually like show the product and some credibility content. But admittedly, as we're talking through this, like people probably don't even have the context that they maybe need at this point as they're going through this. What they need is more of this context earlier on.
Yeah. I think you kind of know the answer, but if anything else, like that interactive demo you have on your homepage is killer. The social proof is killer. Definitely keep all of that. But maybe just kind of, I just see this like pretty clearly, which is, hey, your hero section is underselling what your product does and also kind of burying the lead. It's burying that wedge.
Makes sense. Yep. I agree.
Is before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to cover?
The other thing I would mention that I think we have struggled with a little bit, or maybe not we have struggled with, but customers struggle with, is Outseta is the ethos of the company is whatever it is you're building, it could be software, it could be content, it could be a website, it could be a community of some sort online. You can deliver your content or your software using whatever tools or website builder you like best. And then Outseta integrates with your coding technology or with your website builder or whatever it might be. We kind of, we call out here, integrate with nearly any tool or framework, and we share a bunch of the tools that we integrate with via their logos. The idea there is to help people say, okay, I have a WordPress site, I see WordPress here, and make that association relatively quickly. But I do think that has been something we've struggled to communicate a little bit too, because a lot of the other tools in the membership space, like we sort of call them cookie cutter platforms. Like they are purpose built to deliver courses, or they are purpose built community tools where they actually kind of give you like that front end product experience that we don't.
Mhm.
We integrate with whatever front end tools you like best. So communicating that is something I also think we have not done a great job of. And the way that I flip that positively, and something we hear a lot, is our best customers are these really savvy creators or tech people who don't want to use a cookie cutter platform. They want to build something awesome on their own terms and then let Outseta kind of power it. Excuse me. And I don't know how we could do that better either.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree that there's ways to improve that. My question to you is, are there any platforms that you mentioned Webflow, which I'm guessing is one of the bigger ones. Are there other platforms that, you kind of see that are like the disproportionate number of your customers are already using?
Yeah, it's on the website builder side of things, it's Webflow and Framer. Outside of that, it's developers using whatever tech stack they want to build software.
In that case, maybe just lean really heavily into being like, hey, we're kind of the back end for people who use Webflow and Framer. But we also integrate with dozens of other tools, and you can at that point just like list them further down on your homepage, but it doesn't necessarily need to be like the hero section. Just lead with the ones that the majority of your customers are coming from.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to chat about?
No, I think that's been really helpful. It's awesome to have fresh eyes and a fresh perspective on something you've been looking at for so long. And I can't argue with any of the points you made, really. I think I've got some ideas for remixing the homepage now.
Awesome. Thank you so much.